Press freedom matters now more than ever amidst rising attacks on civil liberties, human rights violations, war, and a disinformation crisis. This is because without press freedom, there can be no accountability, as journalists so often are responsible for gathering the cold hard facts. In the past 2 years, I've worked on 2 projects, both organized by the French NGO Forbidden Stories, that pursues the work of threatened or killed journalists. The first, the Gaza project, came about because of the record number of Palestinian journalists being killed in Gaza following the Israeli invasion and the aftermath of the October 7th Hamas attack. We told the story through Press House, a non-partisan incubator for Palestinian journalists, and its founder, Bilal Jadallah, who is the godfather of Palestinian journalism. Aside from training journalists on the ground, Press House also distributed the light blue flak jackets worn by Palestinian journalists that you may have seen in videos from Gaza. Together with the consortium, and specifically with my colleague Hoda Osman from CFWIJ, I looked at how Bilal was evacuating from a route that was marked safe by the Israeli military when his car was hit by what weapons experts described to me as an Israeli tank shell. Bilal was killed on the spot. He bled to death. This illustrates how there is no safe space in Gaza for journalists despite repeated assurances by the Israeli military, and why so many Palestinian journalists, over 200, have been killed till date. The second project was the Victoria Project, named after Victoria Rushchina, a brave young Ukrainian journalist who crossed over into Russian-occupied territory to report on the detention of Ukrainian civilians before finding herself in the same detention centers she was investigating. The consortium tracked her last fatal journey and also identified over 20 other torture centers used by the Russians, with around 700 types of torture. We reconstructed Taganrog pretrial detention center, the Guantanamo of Russia, known for heinous abuse, and the dedicated electrocution, beating, and waterboarding rooms that are built into the structure of the detention center to show how this kind of torture is systemic and organized. The hardest part of doing these investigations is the realization that we all have in the consortium that these journalists who were killed are the same as us. They carry the same notebooks and cameras and wear the same flak jackets. It's very hard not to feel an emotional attachment when objectively investigating these deaths. The last few years have been the deadliest on record for journalists, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. Never have so many reporters had to pay with their lives for a job that holds power to account and reveals dangerous truths. There has been a global decline in press freedom, so now more than ever is it important to protect journalists who are coming under attack from so many different directions.